When you ask people to name their favorite Black Ops 4 map, they'll probably only say Alpha Omega if they immediately follow it with a laugh. But I, for one, will not stand for Alpha Omega slander, so I took to the streets to do the gauntlet. Maybe they were right. Round 1 is the start of all things, and this is the commentary you've all been craving to hear for sure. Delayed entry is pretty straightforward. You need to defend the security checkpoint, aka the spawn room. You also get an achievement for lasting 20 rounds here, but I only last about 20 seconds. Seriously, I do have a video on that rare achievement. Go ahead and watch it. I stayed put for round 2's Death from Above. You can only kill zombies while you're perched above them like some lead-slinging turkey vulture, and this is probably the best vantage point I had at this point in the game. Unfortunately, I couldn't abuse my beautiful stripe knife, but you'll see plenty of that in the first rounds, I guarantee. Round 3, end of the road, where you need to be in the cul-de-sac by the end of the round. I have a natural advantage compared to many others because I've conveniently only lived in cul-de-sacs my entire life. I guess my parents were training me for this gauntlet even when I was just a baby. It's pretty impressive that they predicted not only zombies, but a Black Ops 4 zombies mode back in the 90s. I picked up 2 shield pieces, flipped the power to give this map YouTube thumbnail levels of saturation, and poked some dead guys. Round 4 is piss around, which is perfect for me because I piss before leaving the house, arriving at any location, before leaving that location, and so on. I should probably get that looked at, honestly. Since I spawned in with the goat here, I punched zombies in the face with my unpacked pistol. I went through the greenhouse in order to grab the teleporter part before heading downstairs since I'm sure the UV level is 10 out in the desert. I grabbed the final shield piece in the bed area so I could build it in the greenhouse for extra protection. I was blessed with enough zombies to get just enough points to open the generators downstairs, grab another teleporter pad part, and start a noxious and obnoxious lockdown that involves dealing with Nova bombers and their ability to gas up zombies. The bombers are the #1 thing that everyone cites as Alpha Omega's biggest flaw, and it's hard to argue. Thankfully, this lockdown is time-based rather than kill-based, but it's still a full minute, so maybe not thankfully? With the lockdown done, I grabbed a max ammo and finished my scavenger hunt around the map for parts. I grabbed the Ray Gun Mark II assembly kit parts in the APD and storage areas, was assisted by a friendly double points, though I've never seen an unfriendly one, and grabbed the final ray gun kit part in the yellow house before ending the round. Whew, I need a breather. Round 4 is Duck, and you can only complete this round if you have Affleck. Really, all you have to do is crouch, which is good because Affleck is for goofs. Since I had to sit by ventilation units and hold X anyway, I figured this challenge came at the perfect time. I cleared the first one with the help of a friendly Wraith fire before nearly getting my ass touched. I cleared the final vent, grabbed quick revive for some quick reviving, got the final teleporter piece, and built it down by the APD control. Coincidentally, the first TV I needed to charge for the Ray Gun Mark II frame access codes were also down there, and with the last zombie of the round, I got my first number, 3. Round 6 is and cover, the natural continuation from Duck. You can only use your weapons while titty banging the ground. Poor RNG decided that TV number 2 should be downstairs as well, so I charged it up to get the number 5 before anywhere but hearing back to the surface. Thankfully I didn't have to worry too much about the whole prone thing as Wraith fires are broken aft, and charged up the 3rd TV in the site entrance, giving me the number 2. I brought over my finest hors d'oeuvres for a barbecue in the backyard of the yellow house, but it turns out that I was the main course, so I quickly crushed some zombies to the final number, 8. I finished the last zombie of the round. On round 7, I inputted 3528 into the normally chatty Rushmore to grab a Ray Gun Mark II frame for later. Deep Breath was one I'd already completed because I'm a master of efficiency in zombies, because doing it in real life is for dorks. You think Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos can get gauntlet challenges done ahead of time? Exactly. Since I failed this gauntlet a couple times before, I knew I needed the Galvanuckles for next round, so I brought them from the truck and finished the zombies. I picked up the M1897 Trebuchet at the start of round 8's population control because when the population counter hits 0, I had to punch it, but you can't do it with the strife knife. The nice thing about the Galvs is that they're a 1 punch on this round, and melee kills give you 150 points on BO4, making a great opportunity to get rich quick, especially with a double points drop. With my wallet as fat as I am, I punched the population counter when it was at 0 to move on. Round 9, Civil Engineering. You have to have the telepads and shield built by the end of the round. But what's this? I've already done that? Well, look at me, I'm Mr. Type A today. since it was a little too late to use my stripe, and I had already forgotten that I dropped 5k on Galvanuckles, I decided to roll with the trebuchet for most of the round, which is certainly one of the better wall weapons in BO4. After spending plenty of time getting to know the locals, I purchased Winter's Whale and tossed my strife into the Pack-a-Punch machine for some extra pizzazz. I ended the round by building the Ray Gun Mark II conversion kit in the operations building and blasting the last zombie. Round 10 tends to be a defend round in gauntlet mode, and it's no different here. On Block Party, you have to defend the streets while also getting riot shield kills. Thankfully, it's not a riot shield only round, or else it'd be a lot more hairy with having to leave the defend area. It only took 15 kills, so with some nice shooting and a little schmacky, I completed the riot shield kills objective and ended the round. Unfortunately, this means I probably won't be invited to next year's Block Party, and I thought I played games to escape reality. Round 11, pack your bags. Each player needs to have a pack-a-punch gun by the end of the round, and since I'm riding solo like my man Jason Derulo, it's mission accomplished thanks to my upgraded Strife. Strife is usually a safe bet on maps like 9 or Alpha Omega just due to its decent location, but not so much on stuff like Blood of the Dead or Dead of the Night. At round's end, I packed my Strife a couple more times, getting the Brain Rot alternate ammo type, which is just what I wanted. I ended the round by zombifying a zombie to have him dig up an ammo canister so I could shoot a glowing ball. Round 12 is shocking development. Jolting jacks come to ruin your day, so you need to just make sure you don't get your face fried in the process. More importantly for me, though, was making progress. The ammo canister I had the zombie dig up earlier and ball I shot are the beginning steps to the Ray Gun Mark II-Y upgrade. And maybe the more Alpha Omega familiar view watching could have guessed that was my plan for my perk selection, since I had PhD Slider. I eventually found the ball again over a telepad and I shot it, placed down a telepad before grabbing that PhD slider I mentioned 2 seconds ago. I found the ball one last time in the APD control area, shot it, then put down a telepad in order to quickly teleport. The ball ran off to the storage area, and since I have golden retriever energy, I followed it. Okay, more like bulldog energy, but shut up. Interacting with the ball spawned a pretty glowing circle where I had to kill enough enemies to fill my ammo canister, which I thankfully pulled off while still on this challenge. I finished the round via stabbing a shotgun guy with the metal that somehow didn't kill me. Round 13. This is Nuketown! You can only kill zombies with nuke drops, which is pretty freaking cool, honestly. Yeah, it sucks on the point front, but it's super fitting all the same. The first nuke dropped in the diner behind the greenhouse, so I sprinted down there in order to blow up the subdivision. After enough dinking around, another nuke fell in the backyard of operations, which allowed me to make these zombies extra crispy. It's a good thing I bought that shotgun earlier for round 14 sawed off, right? Totally didn't look up any challenges before. I was actually incredibly impressed that this trebuchet was still one-shotting zombies on this round. Considering it's Black Ops 4 and the weapons are not exactly Mike Tyson. Still stronger than BO1 guns though. Fortunately, after some regular blasting, an insta-kill decided to join in on the party, and my gun got so excited that it started changing colors. You gotta admit this dragon camo is pretty sick. It looks like a sea dragon leviathan from Subnautica, but less derpy. With only one zombie left, I repaired my shield and turned the last zombie into Mom Spaghetti. Round 15 is one of the grooviest challenges. Slumber Party. I officially crafted the Mark II-Y and made my way to the party, stopping to pregame with Dying Wish in the generators first. If you're not aware, you can enter a code in at Rushmore which makes this whole beds area turn into a rave, which is what this challenge is supposed to be. For some reason the game wasn't playing the music like it was on I did this on a failed attempt, so I'll just have to play it in the background. As you can probably imagine, the Mark II-Y works wonders in this cramped area where Nova Bomber and few zombies live, as does a freaking sword. In round 16, after packing my wonder weapon, I can only use Galvanuckles, which is fine by me. They seem to still be a one-shot surprisingly, and I thought they stopped earlier, but maybe that's just the BO2 version. BO4 stays winning, my friends, as always. Origins? More like Borigins. Mob of the Dead? More like Slob of the Dead. Buried? Okay, I love Buried, but more like Puke Down. I ended the round by completely forgetting that I couldn't punch zombies with the stripe. Round 17 is out of this world, and I've already completed it yet again. You need to have a modded ray gun Mark II. See, normally if I wasn't doing a gauntlet, I could probably have most of the ray guns done by this round anyway, so this is generous. Except that fireplace one. Fuck that one. But that's not important right now. What's important is that I finished the round in the underground section for round 18's Electric Slide. You need to pass through electric traps 10 times without being touched, and while I'm legally obligated to do the cha-cha slide wherever it's played, I enjoyed myself some sliding as well. With my sliding complete before pretty much any zombies joined my line dancing, I returned to the top of the map to get to the end. The fun thing about staying out of the bunker area is that Nova bombers don't spawn, just jolting jacks, and since the bunker area is a death trap anyway, staying in the sun roasting is fine by me. Round 19 is the challenge you'll feast on if you hate this map. All gassed up requires you to kill 20 zombies who've been drenched by Nova bomber gas. Now unfortunately there aren't really that many great training spots underground, so I decided to chill out in the generators area and blast zombies with my Mark II-Y, which worked about as well as you could hope. The challenge is just making sure you don't kill all the bombers before you get to 20 deaths, or else you'll fail and feel awfully silly that you didn't kill zombies in a mode about killing zombies. Round 20 is Blood Drive, where you need to defend the transfusion facility in a place you wouldn't catch me dead in real life, or alive. Then again, you wouldn't be able to recognize me, so yeah. Thankfully, the transfusion facility also contains the area outside of the building itself, which is only a little comforting, considering it's tight as balls too. I actually had to warp out of there, which nearly killed me in the process, but thankfully almost dead is better than dead. Round 21, Headhunter. You need to decapitate every innocent mannequin living here by the end of the round, or else have to pay to replace them at Kohl's. I would rather stick my wiener slathered in au jus into the Amazon and let piranhas feast than go back to Kohl's. Oh shit, the zombies here work at Kohl's, so I got trapped and died. Alright, one skull, whatever. Deciding I should probably stop bad-mouthing brands, I focused up and killed some zombies. I have to say, I still love the Mark IIs on this map better than the Shattered Bale ones. I think the Shattered Bale ones are all better than the shotgun or SMG ray gun here. The electric and exploding ones in Alpha or Mega are far better. With the zombie situation handled, I ran around the map shooting heads off of mannequins. I'll be honest with you, I have no idea where every single one of these creepy looking bastards are, so I had to look up exactly where the last couple were. What can I say? It's 2025, we have the technology. Round 22 is Minute to Midnight, where you need to get your free gun from the prisoner holding area and kill 15 zombies with it. Now sometimes you can get something nice like a Titan or ICR, but this time I got a swordfish, which is decidedly not nice. I got cornered and triggered a dying wish again, but thankfully was able to abuse my 9 seconds of invincibility to kill the zombies mugging me and use it anywhere but here not to die. Eventually I cleared out the zombies with my piece of poop gun and ended the round. Fistful of bullets for round 23. Melee kills will refill your current clip, but you don't have any reserves. Well goody, this ought to be a fun round. As always, the plan was straightforward. Chill out in the streets and blast zombies with my beastly ray gun, praying that I could take a swing at a zombie when I was safe. Thankfully a rabid dog came after me, which made for an easy refill. I was gonna make a rabies joke, but then I went down anyway. With 2 skulls on my record, it was time to shut up and nut up. I managed to gracefully dodge the zombies before cracking their heads open to end the round and thankfully be given full ammo. Round 24 is great for Prime Day. Shocking spree means you need to make 6 unique wall buys, but first you need to pay to unshock them, because I guess Avogadro didn't wash his hands after using the bathroom. I decided not to screw around since I had plenty of cash. I started with the Maddox, then the Trebuchet, followed up by the Strife, the goated Essex, the Escargot, and finally my beloved ICR-7. That easy task out of the way, all that was left to do was to vaporize a lot of brain-dead morons with my wonder weapon. It'd be like deleting insert the name of your least favorite subreddit here. Haha, it's a fun, flexible, but safe joke. Round 25 is another barbecue, which I didn't think I'd be invited to because I'm kinda murdering everyone in the neighborhood, but they probably are exceeding the city limit for residents for houses anyway. I had to defend the yellow house backyard, which meant it was time for me to play slice and dice with the Path of Sorrows. It's pretty cramped down here, but with an explodey wonder weapon as well as a specialist, it's not too tough to beat. And you know when someone of my caliber says that, it really must not be a problem. You need to keep it light on round 26 with only unpacked LMGs. Thankfully every map on this game has a Titan wall buy somewhere, so I guess we're gonna go with Diet Pop instead of full flavor today. I don't know about you, but I'd rather drink water than Diet Pop from a flavor standpoint. Unfortunately, the Titan wall buy is in the underground section of the map, which resulted in Nova bombers and a massive headache for me. Killing buffed zombies on round 26 with any unpacked weapon is a pain in the ass, so as you could see, I eventually had to return underground to buy more ammo for the Titan. Points are of no concern thankfully, as I'd over 30k, but the underground area is tacky. I mean, cramped, no space to run around, of course. This thing doesn't fire very fast, kinda like the Gorgon from BO3, though probably not quite as heavy. But finally, after many minutes sacrificed from my lifetime, I ended the round. I was teleported at the start of Eyes Open on round 27. I had to survive without being hit by a special ADAM unit, which was scary as hell. I actually almost got touched by one when retreating to my favorite camping spot on the Yellow House overhang. I know the popular strategy is to hang out on the Yellow House deck, but I much prefer this area with the Mark II V. If you weren't aware, if you shoot every head off a mannequin in a normal game of Alpha Omega, you get a special round where ADAM units all attack you and they're beefy as shit. But if you kill them all, you get a free perk. Not the case here though. Thankfully, running here was actually a great idea. Not only could I make sure these creepy guys were in front of me and not moving, but they blocked zombie pathing, which made them easier to kill. With a creepy robot staring me the whole time, just waiting for me to look at a squirrel in the distance, I ended the round and unclenched my cheeks as they flopped over. Round 28, mobile plan, where you need to use 10 different telepad locations before the end of the round. Knowing this was going to take some focus and memorization on my part, of which there's a 50-50 chance I'll remember or forget anything from any point in my life, I decided to clear the round first. Seriously, I perfectly recall having Taco Bell when I lived in the house I moved out of at 3 years old, and saying a piece of cheese looked like my grandma, but for the life of me, I can't remember what I had for dinner 2 nights ago. Oh wait, I think it was also Taco Bell. After getting to the end of the round, I purchased the ICR-7 and started teleporting, first with the greenhouse backyard. I then teleported back before placing the telepad in the Center Street location and jumped like Hayden Christensen. I know I've made that joke in multiple BO4 videos, but I like that movie and love Star Wars, so I have to give my guy Hayden the props. I moved the telepad to solitary for number 4. Number 5 is alive in the prisoner holding backyard. Like Guitar Hero 3 taught me, 666 is the number of the beast, so the 6th jump location in the beds. Lucky number 7 was placed in the powerhouse, but as Dwight Schrute once said, a real man makes his own luck. Billy Zane, Titanic. The 8th jump was brought to you by the diner for all your dining needs. The 9th could be found in the Yellow House upstairs, cause Yellow House is best house. That's right, forget waifus in video games, this is what really matters. Dempsey rearranged his atoms one more time in the generators, probably never warping again. Round 29 is Mannequin American, and it sure feels good to fight side by side with Sergeant ADAM. It's been so long since I played with another individual in zombies. I almost feel like I should shoot him, you know? You can't attack unless you're right next to the unit, and you have to be pretty close to him. It surprised me as I thought I'd have a little more leeway, but it doesn't really matter because I have an exploding ray gun and a magic katana that can slice and dice through all sorts of enemies. Round 30 is the big finale, Illuminati. You need to defend the APD control from Avocado and his minions. For those familiar with the Easter egg, this is the last phase of the boss fight, more or less. You just need to kill enough of these Sergeant ADAMs and force Appalachia or whatever back into the Pyramid of Light. Now sadly I didn't have a packed second gun because this gauntlet doesn't want me to succeed, but my will is stronger than some 1s and 0s, at least I hoped. There wasn't much of a plan other than just run around the pyramid and blast some robots, avoiding static shock until I could harm him. But I was a little nervous because I admittedly did go down twice during the boss fight when I did the main quest. Spoiler for that video whenever I eventually get it out, but finally after turning this room into a scrapyard, I got a full power drop. I whipped out my long sword out of my pants and started swinging it directly in this guy's face to push him towards the pyramid, forcing him inside for the worst punishment I could think of, a trip to transit, getting the gold medal. Thank you so much for checking out this video, and if you want to see anything specific, let me know in the comments and I may consider it. I've got a few more gauntlets coming up too.